on their way back to the community. I need you just as much as you need me. In this evening's update, or live, I should say, we've got a couple different topics to talk about. I know the buzz around XRP is negative. I know there's a lot of bearish talk. And what might have went unnoticed today is what happened with the AMM amendment going live. We'll get into the details of this. It's not a very long article that I want to read, but we'll read this as we get going through. And then some speculation that's out there about how XRP or why XRP's price might jump 70% versus Bitcoin after the Bitcoin halving, especially with the whale accumulation that's been going on. So we'll see what's going on there. And then read this as well towards the end with these three articles. The AMM amendment will be earlier on, or just in the way that I decided to do this. And a lot will be based on the back and forth with the audience, too, to see what I'm going to cover and such. But the volume, we also want to see what's going on with the soaring volume by 92%. As we do know, 1,800% rise in liquidations in a few hours. When it comes to XRP leverage traders, 99.4% are long traders right now. So there is definitely a buildup here for some kind of price rally and some appreciation here. So it's going to be a matter of patience. But XRP is continuing to hold this 60.8 cents up until the close, it looks like. We did come down a little bit, and we didn't come all the way down in this particular pattern to retest it another time. We did back here. This fell short. Now we look like a nice reversal candle in the 4-hourly, the candle. But we did come down in a different setup. Yesterday we came down here and retest here, but right now we're up against this mid-tier handle resistance right now, right around the 613 level. Although we do look like we have a bullish reversal candle right now, we have a golden cross in the 4-hourly. So after a little bit of pain earlier today, it looks like this pattern's held intact, and it really does look like it's getting ready for a move up. This target right here off of this shorter pattern is right around 69.15 cents. But then if you look at it from a longer scale, we've broken out of this descending formation, this descending triangle, which are typically bullish reversals. And this indicates a move up to 74 cents. Right now, we had a nice back test, but as we've been saying, it looks like the daily's still a hold candle, but in the 4-hourly leading into the next candle, into the next daily candle here at 8 o'clock, it looks like we have a nice bullish reversal candle here. So if you're leverage trading, you're just going to want to make sure that this doesn't break below this area, because you want to make sure that you have an engulfing candle to the top side, which means during this live we'll pay attention to it. But we're looking for a little bit of price appreciation here. It'd be beautiful. Anything over 61 cents right now would be absolutely spectacular. And you don't really want it to fall below 607, because that's the bottom of this long leg doji. I mean, it could come down very quickly and put some top end pressure on if it were to pull up quickly, but that should have happened earlier in the day if we were going to come all the way back down to 60 cents. But we've kept this W reversal intact. I know it's harder to see in the smaller time, or the higher time frames, but we can still see it here. The golden cross is still intact. Even in the 2-hourly, the 50 cross and the 200 is still intact. And we even came down to retest the 200 day. So as of right now, with everything we're seeing as far as technicals, in the short term, we're looking bullish. Midterm, we're looking even more bullish. And I've seen a lot of people in the comments, and I like to talk about the comments because those are the comments, my community. If I'm not going to talk about the comments, nobody else will. But I hear a lot of people talking about how XRP can go one way or the other, stop being fill everybody with hopium. It's like, if anybody knows anything about my community, the last thing I do is fill everybody with hopium. If anything, it's quite the opposite, because I'm always so, cautiously optimistic that I make people uncomfortable, because I do show the low targets, and when we have to go down, I talk about it. But what I'm trying to emphasize here is we're more bullish than bearish. The bottom line is we're far more bullish than bearish, and this can be embodied by not just the cup and handle that we're in right now, not just the factor in a 78-month consolidation within this pattern, that we're finally in an expansion zone where it looks like we can start making some noise. Forget all of that, but the factor in the most bullish formation that anybody who understands technical analysis could ever desire, and you would never question if you understood the significance, for the ones who don't, the significance of a cup and handle formation. These are the most bullish pattern formations after a long-term consolidation and very big price depreciation we finally start bottoming in the cup. And then we form a handle to prove bullishness. You hold that consolidation, push up to handle resistance. In this case, would be 93.5. And you clear the door to $1.20. That's first step. No need to go any farther than that, because if you break this, well, then we obviously know a retest is going to line up at some point with $1.97, $1.98. And those are the highs from 2021. So that's what we're looking at right now. We'll go through the AMM amendment stuff that went live today, which is important for XRP Ledger. It's actually a critical moment as well because, you know, there was a little bit of glitches and whatnot, or whatever they want to call it, within the system. So we'll go over all that. So please make sure to hit that like button so YouTube recommends this live. It will greatly help push the content. It'll allow us to push through the analytics. And when somebody's scrolling through their feed, not just new or older users, you'll be able to find my content. If you haven't been able to find it, by everybody hitting that like button and YouTube recommends this, you end up back in the feed because we're going through the analytics and being recommended, which means when you look through YouTube, my stuff pops up. Also, if you're part of BITUNIX, I know a lot of the big concern was that we had to hold it in United States digital tether, so it was USDT instead of United States digital currency when you were in spot, you know, when you were, or not in spot, but when you weren't in a position, we had to hold it in USDT. That's not the case anymore. Even in the USA now, and I switched mine from USDT today to USDC, you can now hold your money on BITUNIX in United States digital currency, which is actually a game changer for me because I hate holding it in tether, and it actually was holding me back because I wasn't able to, mentally I didn't want to keep so much money there over a long period of time, but at least now that it's in USDC, I can at least hold it where I feel it's safer because I don't trust tether as far as I can throw it. So if you are looking for BITUNIX, that's in the video description below and our pinned comments. And they have the lowest spot and leverage trading fees in the USA. One of my big concerns was that it was in USDT, where you had to hold your money as far as a stable coin. That's no longer the case here in the USA, so I'm very happy about that. That's in the video description below and our pinned comments. No VPN required when you trade in the USA or abroad. And you don't even need a KYC if you're trading or withdrawing or depositing from another exchange. And you can leverage or spot trade there. So I've become very accustomed to the platform. I don't like to be screwed out of my money 3 to 4% just for buying or selling. So it's been a game changer for me so that I can go back to swing trading. In fact, I'm actually compensating, reopening that position we talked about. Yes, recontemplating, Julie. Because I was contemplating before. I was thinking about it, and then I decided not to see the retracement. But now that it looks like a reversal candle is happening in the 4-hourly, I'm recontemplating, Julie. I'm giving myself more analysis into this position of opening up this $3,100 or $3,200 now after the recent gain spot position here. Even though I already own XRP, I would really like to ride this to this next leg up because it's going to be a pretty nice one. But if it falls apart, then obviously you don't want to hold it past 60 cents. Well, not obviously. But if you don't know, you don't want to hold it past here. If it gives you any reason for that. And really, if I were to buy in here, I would sell it if it broke the 606. That simple. And then I'd rebuy it when it came down here. So that's actually probably my plan here. But we'll see. I'll talk about this a little more as we go through the live. And this is not a leverage trade. This would be a spot position of just over $3,200. As I'm slowly but surely building it up. The last one we made about $110, $120, somewhere around there. Wasn't a huge move. Don't need huge moves as it builds up more in the portfolio. So that's what I'm thinking about. I'm giving you my thoughts here and with Bitcoin, and then we'll get into the intro. Bitcoin, that's almost, as much as that looks bearish, that could be a bearish sentiment there. Only because if that's a gravestone doji setting up, it would be pretty interesting because that's more of a bearish setup. But really, Bitcoin could have been helped out a lot if this would have just come down to 69,800. And there's still time. Make no mistake about it. If Bitcoin comes down about 300 points in the next hour and 15 minutes, this will be a beautiful long leg doji reversal candle. So how quickly things can change if this were to just come. I know it's crazy to call for a 300-point drop and need it. But it'd be beneficial more than most can imagine. Either it comes down 300 points or we start pushing up and re-break that 70,700 and have an engulfing candle going in and invalidating what could have been a bearish overtone here. So there's two different things that can happen. Sitting here would be non-beneficial. then it still gives you that bearish overtone, which I don't look at XRP much in the same way I look at Bitcoin right now, except the fact that Bitcoin can give us a little bit of a boost here. So with that being said, let me do the intro. Please make sure to hit that like button so YouTube recommends this live. We have less than 50% hitting the like button, which that is what it is. If you respect my time that I give you each and every night, if you respect the patience, if you respect the information and the fact that I don't charge for anything, you would find it within your good grace to hit that like button so you could continue to help me advance my community. Real recognizes real, and sometimes you got to do the dirty work and hit that like button if you have the ability. You know, that's just the way it's got to be. So good evening, 6:47 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on this Thursday, April 11th, 2024. I'm XRP Future Millionaire, and I reside in the great state of Michigan. We've also had some good news here as gold closed above 2,370 today. Silver was up over 28 bucks an ounce here, ladies and gentlemen. I know, Julie. Remember what I've been telling you for... I know. And like I changed Julie's whole perspective of currency versus money over the past 10 years as well, to where she's even wise enough to turn her dollars into some precious metals, and she's doing very well right now. Let's just say she learned, she didn't understand at first, she started to pay attention, and she's hit a home run. She hit a home run here the last few months on her holdings. So she's definitely seen the light of day, and I hope many of you will as well. I do.
It's so pretty.
It is pretty. And you'll notice the buzz around XRP diddly squat. The positivity is reigning by the day, and the more negativity I see within my own community, the more bullish I get. I need more people to show the signs that XRP is the biggest pile of garbage they've seen. Since, I don't know. You know, it's just since this whole lawsuit hasn't ended, and since everybody's kind of feeling, I'm not this way, because I see opportunity every day. I see these spot trades firing away here, even at 3, 4, 5%. You get in, you get out, you re-achieve. You get in, you get out, you keep doing it. And just because you had $2,000 a month ago, I've shown it very clearly, doesn't mean you have to have it next month. And if you make good decisions, you don't have to leverage trade. 5% here on 2,000, you compound it, now you have 5% on 3,000, and it keeps compounding. So we have to do this. It's a very organized and structural way to make money in crypto right now. Leverage is costing people so much money. I made 3.5%, 4% in a long position. Nothing to write home about. Made me about 120 bucks. Had I made a 10x trade, I could have made 30%. That could have made me $900. But during that same trade, when I decided to sell, maybe I wouldn't have done it. Or what if during that trade, instead of it kind of steadily going up for the 3 to 4%, what if I would have had a 17% or 1.7% drop on a 10x trade? What if I would have had a 1.7% drop? Well, on a $3,200 trade, well, at the time, $3,100, a 1.7% drop doesn't mean anything to me. That's like 50 bucks. I'm just going to wait it out. I might have to sell out because I'm going to get a stop loss. And now on $3,000, I've lost 17% on a stop loss. And I'm like, okay, at least it's not $3,000, but that's like 500 bucks. You see where we're going with this? Like, that's why slowly but surely, as long as you're making the gains each and every time, well, you don't even have to do it every time, but like now, I could very easily buy in right now, but I have the understanding of we're going into a close at 8 o'clock. I don't have to push the envelope here. I can see what the market decides to feed me. Never buy a trade right before the close. And if you're looking at a very volatile position, sell out right leading into the close if it's going your way, especially if you think there's going to be volatility after the close. Right now, we're getting mixed signals. We really need Bitcoin to come down about 300 points. I know it sounds crazy, but it would put in a reversal candle here. There is a method to my madness here, and I do make gains day in and day out. Don't I, Julie? We make gains day in and day out. And it's nothing special sometimes. I'm not going to throw you the $3,000 bone every time, but when I say there's an opportunity opening up here through spot, and even if you have 500 or 200, you make 5%, it compounds it. Now you have 5% more. Make 3% next time. Now it compounds it again. You're not just up 8%. You're up the extra 5%, now 3% on top of the 5% that you were able to accumulate, which means now on the 3% gain, it's not $500. Now because you made 3% or 5% the previous trade, it doesn't sound like a lot, but now the 3% is on $525. And then it continues to compound, and then you get a 15% or 30% hitter in there. Now you're off to the races. Hell, maybe you hit a 50%er, like we've done a few times, or a couple 100% here in the last couple weeks on a few. That's what I mean. So over time, to understand, like, you can lose so much money leverage trying to get to a powerful position. And most people, once they get to the powerful position, they just keep seeing the dollar signs, and then they lose the power position because they don't realize when they're betting $300 and 10xing it so that they'd have a $3,000 trade. If you have $3,000, don't 10x it into a 30x trade or a $30,000 trade. Spot traded, now you have that $3,000 you were leverage trading on $300 that you're all but certain to lose half of it, or at least 20 to 30% on a quick drop. You've opened up the ability when you make more money to not have to deal with the BS of leverage trading. You're also paying to borrow that money as well. There's a maker-taker fee. There's each day you hold a leverage trade, you're paying money. Whatever it's in the agreement, you're paying that money. To me, it reminds me of margin trading. Even though that would be more like call and put options in the stock market, it still reminds me of margin trading because you have to marginalize against your own funds. So if it's a $3,000 trade, you're borrowing $2,700 on margin if you only put up $300 of your own. Well, you also have to remember the trade moves 10 times faster, but you're giving up 22%. So it only has to be down 78% cumulatively. Do you understand what that means? On a 10x trade, you only have to lose 7.8%, not 10%. Because you're in the agreement, typically it's about 78% of the position is yours on a leverage trade. That means you're paying a 22% tax. You're paying a 22% interest rate, I should say. So because they're closing it at 78%, read in the fine print on these exchanges. I guarantee it's going to shock you if you don't already know. You're paying essentially a 22% interest rate. That's what I mean. That's the, wish you could show Tom. What did he say?
Mm-hmm.
What did he wish?
To show you his chart.
Why can't he?
He's sending an email.
Yeah.
He said it's he sees inverted head and shoulders.
Oh, there absolutely is an inverted head and shoulders there. 100%. It's just starting to take shape now, though. But that's something that we have, and even in the smaller time frame, it created an inverted head and shoulders. That's what it came down and did just now here. But we're on a much larger inverted head and shoulders, folks. Make no mistake about this. We've been talking about this. This is just the wider side. Even if you want to take a smaller account of this, you go here, you come down. Even the way this is starting to, but it goes bigger than this. This comes back here, head, shoulder. This is what we've been talking about. This is an inverse head and shoulders. And then even if you want to break it back farther, one could argue a cup and handle is nothing more than an inverse head and shoulders before it bounces up. But on the shorter time frames, we absolutely have been talking about this. Left shoulder, head, coming into a right shoulder. That's the descending triangle. And that's how you break out of here. But even bigger than that, we have a cup and handle. Absolutely. I'll look into that right now.
He says it has the fib retrace and everything.
Oh, I'm going to get it. I'm making sure that nothing else pops up that I don't want to pop up of somebody else's. The only problem with the one you sent me is it's not, I won't be able to show anybody anything. I don't, because it came up weird. FYI.
Probably because it's a screenshot.
Could be. This is how it came up, so I can't. Right, Julie?
Mm-hmm.
It's not easy to see, is it? No. I mean, I can do this, but it's blurry.
Oh, yeah, that is blurry.
So,
looks like a nice trick.
But if you're that inverse head and shoulders, if you're looking for the play down off it as well. That was the first one I couldn't see. Yeah, no, I couldn't see it either. Bro, Bounce says, bro, I remember when was under 1,000 subs. Good job. Love to see the progress you made. Hey, I appreciate that, Bounce Nation. Yeah, it's been a crazy juncture here.
He said, Ron, when check email again, you sent you $2.
I only have the one. That's all it's showing me in my email. That's all I have in my email. FYI. I'm going to go through the comments and hopefully I'll be able to, I can get back to you. Chart. Miss Vicky, welcome in. I hope your recovery is going well. I really hope your recovery is coming well. I'll get to that in a second, friend. Thank you for being in Tom's Army for over 6 months with the XRP Predictor. I greatly appreciate that. And I really hope you're doing great and you're recovering very well. JW, welcome in and thanks for being in Tom's Army for over 1 year with the I Told You So badge. John Bugathorn, welcome in and thanks for being in Tom's Army for 2 months with the Dusty's Out House Crypto News. Yes, we can do a gala update. Yeah, GameCon is coming up, I believe. Is it the end of April or beginning of May? I keep forgetting, but we definitely should be paying attention to gala. I'm telling you, I really have a gut feeling about that one when it comes to the GameCon. Glad somebody brought that up, actually. Simon B53 and Dodger, welcome in. Thank you both so much for being in Tom's Army for 1 month with the emoji badge of me being abducted by aliens. John Hall, Mario Louise, Willamese, Marvin, Jorge, welcome in. The Gatman, thank you for tuning in, being on Tom's Army for over 1 year with the I Told You So badge. He says XRP Healthcare might be the biggest thing you put us on 5 years from now. Only 100 million tokens, you're the man. I firmly believe, and we'll go into XRP Healthcare because we had a nice retracement like we've been talking about. And for anybody who hasn't started picking up any, it could be a beautiful time to start accumulating as it works its way to where we try to find the support. Yeah, I don't care. Absolutely. But yeah, that's absolutely, I agree with that. 100%. And the fact that can we keep flowing with Tom's chart? We're going to flow with Tom's chart. I like to show user input as well, but we'll flow with I got so many charts to show that it's nice to see somebody else's, but I think everybody can identify here too. I know I can, and I've been showing this for a while. We can identify boom, boom. I mean, this very well is an inverse head and shoulders here, and if it plays out properly, this is going to be the firing. This will basically be how we're going to kickstart our cup and handle. Boom, boom, boom. I mean, it doesn't set up much better than this. And you can go back farther, but I'm just saying, from this current setup, I mean, this is how I would want to see it. Even the descending triangle makes it even more alluring. Weak shape, shorter time frames. Well, I prefer to use it in a daily time frame so I can see the actual structure. But in the 30-minute time frame, it's going to be more elongated. But it's also coming through a bullish consolidation, right? I think a lot of people don't understand what that means. The descending triangle is a bullish consolidation, which is also why that didn't play down like head and shoulders and stopped on a dime. Now, if this plays out properly, you should not give back this uptrending support. If you do, it puts it into a much longer consolidation. I wouldn't say it's a weak structure, though. What's to my shoulder?
Your hair.
Oh, my hair?
How long is your hair getting?
Oh, how?
You should be due for a haircut.
Okay, so everybody wants to know. That's because last July I told everybody I wouldn't cut my hair until XRP hit $1. So it's been, what, 10 months? August, September, October, November, December, January, February, March, April. 9 months now. So is it getting long? You tell me. I'd say it's pretty long. I think it's pretty long. See, I got to wear a hat now. It's so long.
You look like a trucker.
I do. I look like a trucker. You know who I look like? Keanu Reeves when he was in The Replacements, when he puts the hat on. That's how long my hair is getting now. But yeah, thanks for asking. But it's definitely getting... But this chart, I mean, to be honest, if you're trying to get bearish out of this chart, you could get slapped in the face here. And that, like I've said a million times, my bullish chart can go down to 49.9 cents. That's the bottom of the handle. Right on, Giovanni. I like that. Okay. Let me try to pull this back up. Oh, much better. I can definitely tell this is the one. All right.
Oh, that is a nice chart.
That's for Bitcoin. Okay, this is Bitcoin. I mean, I could see it coming down to an inverse head and shoulders on Bitcoin. I mean, if we look at this, I'm gonna keep this up, but let me go into my Bitcoin chart real quick so that I can show you something. XRP or Bitcoin right now, if it did come down, it is possible we come down into that range. We need to retest these areas. So if we did break down, the only question is if this formation breaks up, then it kind of puts you in a bind. Because then you go up to 78,988. Now, for your scenario to play out, we're probably going to have to break bearish out of this. But we do... See, that's... Let me pull yours back. I find this... Okay. The only thing that I see could be an issue here is if we break out. If we break down and we lose this falling channel that you've got us in, that's one thing. But if this ends up playing to the top side, it's going to invalidate your thesis because we're actually already on an inverse head and shoulders. We're on a smaller one, but it's still there. This is still... I don't want anybody to make a mistake. This is still an inverse head. It's a demeaning inverse head and shoulders, and yours would be much better. But, you know, we've still created some weird formation if we bounce out of here. But we've got it longer in the pattern. We've got it farther back, too. It's weak, though. Everything's weak that we've got set up with Bitcoin. It's just, for you to come back around with yours, you could have a problem. I'm just saying, I like the synopsis. I like the thought process, because if we do break down, I can 100% see this with the Fibonacci retracements. But the one problem we're going to have here is if Bitcoin breaks up and we look bullish on the candle right now going into the close, but if this plays out to the bottom side, I do like this. You're giving the alternate, not saying you're saying this is going to happen, but you're doing the, if this breaks down here and can't pass this resistance, I actually like this. Yeah, somebody called me. Yeah, somebody's daughter calls me Boom Boom.
That's like Bam Bam.
Yep. Now I'm Boom Boom. Look, I keep doing this, and now my goatee is like, you can see my fingerprints. I better stop doing this live. But yeah, so I like that. I like that because if we get rejected, if we were to get rejected here, and let's just say this did turn into a bearish proposition here, and now we're kind of doing the opposite. We're starting to break up a little bit, but if this doesn't break past this area of 70,475 especially, it could definitely come back through. I don't mind it. I just have this set up in a way with Bitcoin for the technical move to the top side. We know 57,000 if we break down is more than likely. If this breaks this formation and we'd retest the broadening wedge. So in that scenario, I could see that playing out. In order to get to that short scenario, though, we have to break bearish out of this. And right now, this does not look bearish. This actually looks relatively bullish here in the daily. 4 hourly is where it leaves, to me, a lot to be desired. One might argue that this isn't a gravestone doji, but to me, kind of looks like it. I can't help it. Now, if it does break up past, we have to get past 70,600. If it's going topside, I really prefer this to come down to 69,800. I'm not going to lie, because it could create a reversal candle here in the 4 hourly. And because we also have a little bit of a bull flag that we have to acknowledge. We have a W reversal that we can't just, forget about. And this is a Gartley reversal at that. We got a lot more strength on the second dip, which is bullish. This could be a bull flag pushing out of here, though. Like, if we start looking at this logically, that's actually set up. Until it breaks down, I'm looking more bullish than bearish here. Uncle Fester head and shoulders. I could see that. But that's why we have to see if this 70,475 holds. We could certainly see a retracement. We could certainly. It's just setting us up in somewhat of a bullish perspective here in the short term. So we'll see. We'll see how this plays out. We have to pay our due diligence here and not get too overly excited. But yeah, I still see major opportunity here in the charts though. And what I was saying before is even if XRP breaks down, and let's just say worst case scenario happens and XRP needs to retest the bottom of the handle support. That would break us back down below this, but that would bring us down here on, now in today's terms, it's around 504. So that's where you could see yourself falling to if this plays bearish. Right now, it's really giving us the optics that we're going to have a big W form here. If it does continue to push up, we've held the back test so far. We're waiting for some volume to push us up. That's it. It looks like we're trying. If it fails here and we get rejected, which is also a very strong possibility, seeing that we haven't been able to get past this mid-tier handle resistance that we continue to talk about at 612. So, could it go bullish? In the current setup, it looks more bullish than bearish. So we're going to stick with that. But that doesn't mean that it can't come down to 50 cents or 50 and a half cents. As long as you hold this bullish cup and handle, the pattern's good. This is very bullish. Don't let anybody try to trick you. These are the patterns. These are the patterns. I can't make it up. You can't make it up. But these are the patterns in front of us. XLM's at 13 cents. It too is in a very similar spot as XRP. It's trying to create an expansion zone for itself so it doesn't have to come all the way back down here every time to that 8.6 spot. Every single time it has so far in the structure until now. So does this mean something bigger is building? Or is it just a wider consolidation? That's what we don't know. I don't know as much as you don't know, but we're speculating that we're on our way to something. We've got bigger patterns here to worry about, but it really looks like we're trying to push out right now. And at some point, if we don't get a big sell candle, we could be looking very optimistic. Not we could be. We are looking very optimistic here. We've got the XRP Bitcoin pairing that's at 868 right now. We're down 0.91%. And this is also important that not many will talk about, understandably. But the XRP Bitcoin pairing, even if you break it down into smaller time frames, which is easier to see, we've got a beautiful setup here on this descending structure. These are bullish reversals. They very rarely won't break to the top. Even if it consolidates all the way through and somehow finds its way down here, these are bullish reversal patterns. And this will just bring you up here to this resistance. You break that resistance and break the little formation we're in, this descending, I call it the expansion zone right now. Then we could make a move. XRP is looking very bullish to me. The optics are saying otherwise, but when you start to break it deeper into the patterns, you start looking at the market cap, you start looking at what's ahead of us. And that doesn't mean we can't have our retracement. Like I continue to say, just because I think we're bullish doesn't mean XRP's price can't go to 50 cents because it absolutely can right now. It absolutely can, and it might even be more beneficial for everything but our hearts and our mentality. But you could gain added liquidity. The problem is you've dropped so many longs now that it's not as beneficial. You need to push back up, even if it's a rejection at 74 to bring it down to 50. We need some more long positions to open up so they can benefit on the leverage. Right now, the most benefit would be to go long, just with the trading bots, and then as a whole, the powers to be will have more liquidations and shorts. We've already liquidated 99.2% of long openings with leverage. That's right, Al. The volume is, honestly, if you look at some of this, look at the market cap. Even when it was trying to come down, look how much the volume came down. Volume predicts price here. We know this. We know this. It's just a matter of time. You know, we can be cynical. Would they drop us down farther? Well, that would be Bitcoin dominance speaking. Well, as we said, don't believe everything you see with Bitcoin dominance till it actually plays out. Because the Bitcoin dominance suggests that we could very well have a move up into here. But now we're starting to go in this rising channel style. And once you start doing this, if it continues, let me preface this by this. If it continues in a weird setup like this, and it's not weird because you can see the inverted pattern as well. But if it continues in something like this, these are not exactly your most bullish setups here. These are rising channels. Those are bearish reversals. I think we could actually articulate it a little bit better by showing this. I mean, look how it's actually condensed. You've had a few breakouts over, but you're literally looking at a very dangerous situation if Bitcoin doesn't get some volume here. Right now, we're on the top side of the setup, so that's good. And that's why I keep saying, as long as Bitcoin can hold this, it can break out. We did have a small bull flag that got invalidated here. So I guess there's no reason to keep that like that. But that's what it was looking like. And now we've got a little more consolidation. We've got this beautiful uptrend that we can very easily see if you're trading Bitcoin, or at least making decisions on what's going on with the rest of your trades. Maybe it's coming down to something like this. It's always hard to tell exactly what the trend is, but you can try to, you can try to guess. You can try to make sense of what's going on in front of you. Like, to me, this is what makes sense. We started breaking through. Even from the bottom, we have that uptrending support. Now we're trying to get on top of this. And we technically, the crazy thing is, we've come nowhere near our technical target right now on the Bitcoin dominance. Because we broke out of the structure, that technically suggested a move to 57%. So if Bitcoin dominance is actually going to go up like that, that could wreak havoc a little bit for the cryptocurrencies. Fortunately, right now, Bitcoin's doing what I talked about at the beginning when it was around 70,300. We need that drop to 69,800, and you'll see. See how this is turning from a... Remember how this was looking more like a gravestone doji? And what did I say? A pull down here to at least 6, even right where it's at pretty much. It turned it into what? We've turned into a long leg doji now. In the, let's go into the 4 hourly. Not quite yet, but the 3 hourly has now completed it. Pulled down. But look at the 4 hourly. If we can continue coming down here to about 69,800 area, this is going to turn itself from a gravestone into a long leg doji. And this would be a reversal candle. I don't necessarily like the fact it's coming down here at the end of the day, because now you could unfortunately get an engulfing candle to the downside. But the point is we need to do something here. Something can be said here. But don't get too carried away, because if we lose the structure, then we know. It's a breakdown instead of a break up, and we know the mess there. Probably 57K. But yeah, that's what I'm seeing when I'm looking through the charts. I know it's been weird with the comments and whatever, but I'm trying to show you the most information I can here this evening. And I think this is the best way to do it tonight. And I know there's not a lot of buzz, because, you know, you don't want a lot of buzz. When there's 500 people talking and they're all happy and excited, it's probably going to go the other way. When a lot of people are going against the grain and they're saying, you know, it's not looking so good here, that's when I get excited. A lot of people are looking past the technical just because they see the recent momentum of XRP not doing so great. 4 hourly here, though, on this chart, you can firmly see that reversal taking place on this 4 hour chart, which is nice to see. Tom, how did you have to wait to be made whole when you had a problem on XRPH? I lost 500 XRP yesterday on the swap, took my XRP, but no XRPH. Within 24 hours. When I did mine, I had one instance of 12 different times I staked. I did 1,533 approximate XRP. For whatever reason, it only staked 196 of them. It showed that I had transferred it to the exchange and did the... I sent it to the customer service, and about 16 hours later, I noticed that 1,533 had been staked, and they actually left still the 196 others still staked. So it shows my transaction. Yes, I could see the transaction on the ledger, so I knew it went through. I even took a screenshot of it to show that my transaction went through. So, you know, and that was the day after, though, that they had just updated the system. So I know glitches happen, yada, yada, yada. But I didn't even get a response. It was just fixed. And it even says that you won't likely get a response unless further details are needed. So, Wales, you had direct contact with a couple devs. They fixed mine. Excellent. Well, maybe you can help CJ2 Pilot further with his endeavor, because I never actually talked to anybody. It didn't come to that, fortunately. But I definitely want to hear how all these end up playing out, because these are very, very important things. And thank you for the $5 donation, CJ2 Pilot. Seriously. And Wales, thank you for being in Tom's Army for over... Wales, let's see what he... Over 6 months with the XRP... Or over 3 months with the XRP Meteor. I appreciate that. George, thank you for being in Tom's Army for 2 months with the Dusty's Outhouse Crypto News. You lost 34.7K from a transfer. Holy shit. A transfer. Wow. I don't want to speculate because I don't know what's going on, but I really want to see a resolution of this. Really want to see a resolution. Let's read this before we go into XRP Healthcare as we try to figure that out. Regarding XRPH, you can send XRP to wallet addressed and converter into XRPH all within this app. Thank you, Tom. You're a freaking gem. I appreciate that. And thank you so much for the $9.99 donation. It really feels good to see some of those flowing. And it's been a pretty underwhelming month as far as that goes. But like it's been underwhelming in crypto, so it's completely understandable. Silver, like I said, it's moving now. $28.49. B2 Gold's up from $2.44 when we bought into $2.90. I bought $4,222 worth at $2.44. I was very transparent. Newmont Mining, I bought $2,222 roughly at $33.50 and some change. And then First Majestic, I had bought, how much was on First Majestic? $1,222. And I bought that at $5.34 roughly. So we're doing spectacular on all of these. I even took out an iSilver Trust call option, as everybody knows, when it was under 22 bucks for January of 25 at the $29 level. I put 350 bucks on it. It's up 90 something percent right now. But if it can get up to 29 bucks here, and it could very quickly, it's going to be a very nice payoff. Very nice payoff. So it's good to see that transforming in the right direction. I hope my audience pays attention to precious metals. On B2 Gold, I get a 5 3/4. Actually, it's about 5.5% dividend now as it's coming down a little bit as price goes up. Newmont, you get about 3.4%, and AG is only about 0.24%. That's not why I own AG. Not for the dividend, but more for silver exposure. So, I'm sorry for the typos. iOS has XRPH app, not Android. Yes, Android does. The Google Play Store does. That's where I have mine through. I don't have an iPhone, or I don't like Apple, so I actually like not having Apple in the last 7-8 years now. Maybe a little bit more since I met Julie. Jerry Clark, welcome in, and thanks for being in Tom's Army for over 2 years with the XRP589 Moon Badge. We got to read this though, folks. Then before we leave, I promise, we'll get into the XRP healthcare chart. I am very eternally grateful for 125 of you spending time with me. My closest friends are here this evening. XRP Broski's even here. Long time now. Oh man, that's awesome. That's awesome. But let's read this. Did anybody hear this about the XRPL, the AMM amendment goes live? George, thank you so much for being a member of Tom's Army. Now it's 2 months with the Dusty's Outhouse Crypto News. I really appreciate you re-upping for a second month. That means a lot. No reason to retract it. No reason to retract it. I love seeing that. Ryan, welcome in. Good evening. Lonzo, welcome. This is why we need a community space. I mean, I've said it before and I'll say it again. I tried. The members of Tom's Army, I do have a Telegram that you can go to converse. It's not as active as it used to be, but we can certainly bring it back to life. But the only reason I do it for members of Tom's Army, if they want to be part of it, is because I went down the road of just letting everybody come in before, but past Telegram or a past Discord, and it all went to you know what. So I'm sure it would be different today, hopefully, because we have different minds here. But I did put a lot of my blood, sweat, and tears into it, and it really I got kicked in the nuts pretty hard. So, you know, I'm trying to avoid losing my right nut, because my left one's pretty beaten on, you know, it's the way it goes. But crucial XRP Ledger, XRPL. But I'm not opposed to doing it in the future if we get the right group of people that actually care. AMM amendment goes live on mainnet details. The newly launched automated market maker AMM engine on XRP Ledger, XRPL. You know what? Where's my phone? If you guys are serious and you really want a spot to talk, and you want to really talk to each other, there's something that I've built. It just And there's people that talk now, and we've got a small bunch here now because I've gotten rid of a lot of people. So, and don't disrespect me if I do this by going in there and ruining the small thing we have left, because it's a good environment, and I'd hate to see it ruined by the few, that want to be you know, let's just say the ones who are looking to make things uneasy. And like, I don't have a paid Telegram, so if somebody says, "Oh, you can earn money," you can't pay me to make money on trade. So if you ever see that, it's not me. I don't do that garbage. So if you guys are serious and you want to go, you guys can all talk right there if you want. Can all talk right there, and if it goes appropriate, I'll become more and more into it. But if it goes in the way that I've seen it go many, many times before, you won't even know I exist. So do with it as you please, but please treat it respectfully as if it's your own. A lot of time went into that. And that's this 2.0. That's not even the original one I created. Can I use my debit card or credit card on BITUNIX? I mean, I would encourage you not to go down that route, because then you have to do a KYC and yada, yada, yada. But if you want to, yeah, you absolutely can. You can. There's ways. And you can even deposit through USDC if you want now too, which is awesome. So the newly launched automated market maker AMM engine on XRP Ledger XRPL has received a major new update. Dubbed the Fix AMM Overflow Offer, the update was launched on the mainnet after a stress test voting period that saw it reach a 100% consensus. The XRPL and AMM amendment, the Fix AMM Overflow Offer, was released in version 2.1.1, and it hopes to fix the improper handling of large synthetic AMM offers. In the payment engine, the XRP ledger in itself is evolving at a very fast pace, a trend that has necessitated the launch of related engines that can help it match up with other competing layer 1 blockchain networks. Man, can't recall last time I deposited fiat. EMS was the best. Yeah, I know, for real. For real. The AMM launch was one of the major ways the XRP ledger registered its footing in the blockchain world. However, the launch was succeeded by a major technical glitch, one that triggered a backlash within the ecosystem. This glitch necessitated the bouts of updates the AMM is now getting. With this update, the growing list of AMM pools on XRP Ledger can better manage large swap requests on decentralized exchanges, DEXs, hosted on the XRP Ledger. With this new functionality, some of the crucial points of the XRP Ledger hiccup can be averted altogether. Tom, check your email tonight. I have a possible solution to this community space. I would love to help, only with your blessings. I will definitely look at that tonight, my friend. And thank you for the super chat. Seriously. That's incredibly generous. I really do appreciate your generosity, honestly. The XRP Ledger is evolving, and Ripple developers are doing all they can to permit the validators and other key stakeholders to have a good experience pitching tents on the platform. As reported earlier by you today, there are updates underway that will directly impact validators on the XRP Ledger. Other crucial functionalities have also been introduced into the XRP Ledger, including the clawback functionality that sought to protect developers and liquidity providers in the case of recorded theft on the network. Where's my water? Here it is. Other amendments of note include fixed allow incoming V1 and fixed NFT token reserve, both of which are yet to go live. So a lot of work being done on the ledger. I hope that you are paying attention to the fact that they're not just sitting pat when they're having issues. They're actually trying to be proactive with it. And then the only other thing I really want to read, and yeah, we can talk about what could happen after the halving, but I'm going to wait to do that at a later time. That fudge just not jiving with me for this live. XRP volume soars by 92%. Hey, ATK, thank you so much for re-upping for 8 months now, as you have the XRP predictor. So I knew it was over 6, but I'm so glad you're over 8 months now. You're welcome, my friend. Thank you for being a part of this. But yeah, I'll never change who I am. This is just who I am. Real life, on my updates, it don't matter. This is just who I am. I am who I am, and I don't pretend to be anybody else, and I don't desire to be anybody else. I actually really appreciate and understand who I am. Don't forget to give thanks to your Lord and Savior Jesus Christ as well. Emmanuel had a very trying last couple of weeks, as we know. So, don't forget how we got here. XRP's volume soars by 92% with the price rally to follow. XRP witnessed a significant uptick in trading volume within the last 24 hours. Thank you, JW. Yes, FE4 Life, definitely send that, and I'll take a look at it before I go to bed tonight. I always do some reading on my emails or just stuff that I'm trying to learn when Julie and the kids go to bed. So I'll sit down and I'll take an hour or two just to go through stuff. And then, you know, after I get done with all that, then some of you can catch me on Fortnite. But nobody's really took advantage of that, only one person. And I got past my plateau of Diamond 1. I'm almost to Diamond 3 now, so we'll see. Maybe I'll get to Elite this season. XRP witnessed a massive, although the season is trash, but the player count's lowest that I've ever seen. XRP witnessed a massive surge in volume in the last 20, and I can blame my 12-year-old nephew for getting me into this. Price moved in a positive direction. However, network growth continued to decline. Over the last 24 hours, Ripple XRP witnessed a massive surge in volume. According to CoinMarketCap's data, the volume at which XRP was trading at grew by 92.36%, accounting to $4.8 billion. This surge in volume was accompanied by an uptick in XRP's price. Since the 4th of April, the price of XRP grew by 9.2%. Despite the apparent positive price movement, a contrasting perspective emerges when considering the recent price trends of XRP. Since the 11th of March, after testing the 74.4 cent levels, the price of XRP declined significantly and exhibited multiple lower lows and lower highs, establishing a bearish trend. The recent surge in price wasn't significant enough to reverse the declining price trend for XRP. And the biggest resistance and the biggest problem here is we've been unable to flip 64.4 cents, which is huge. But even furthermore, we can't flip 62.20 yet for some reason. That's even a bigger indictment right now. The CMF token money flow for XRP experienced a notable increase over the past few days, reaching the 0.17 level. This suggests that there has been a significant influx of buying pressure in the market for XRP recently. However, the relative strength index, the RSI, fell to 54.13. This indicated that while the momentum might not be as strong as during overbought conditions, it still suggests some upward momentum can be expected from XRP. If XRP manages to surpass the 66.46 cent level, it could probably see a reversal in trend and may aim for the 74.4 cent level going forward. I always like to compare different ones. I always like to compare different charts, especially if I think that they have some relevance. But look at these levels that they set here. It's almost as if they're reading in my chart and my own desires. Like 64.30 out perfect, 66.46, and then up to 74.40. These are beautiful areas. Beautiful areas. And then underneath that 56.15 is certainly close enough to that 55.5 cent area to where I can feel comfortable. So, I actually like this. How much do you think Ripple makes on trading bots? Remember when David Katz said he just set up... millions. Millions. How do you think they fund the whole program? Certainly not through donations. They make so much money off of up and in. Think about it this way. All those shares that they lock up into escrow, we can see that they burn a little bit, but they have 99.4 billion allowed to be used. Who's to say every so often they don't sell a couple 100,000 of them? Hey, we need a few $100,000. Up here's 600,000 XRP. No one's gonna know we got 50 billion to release though to the public, or 45, but they're making a shitload. You can bet on that, and you can also bet on the fact that Jed McCaleb is still a part of this. XLM was specifically designed by all of the power at Bs within Ripple and XRP because they didn't want retail buying in at such an alarming rate. So I believe Jed McCaleb went over to XLM Stellar, and those monthly sells that he had to make, which have been exhausted, that was actually put into place so it would look like he was restricted. But really, if you look at the monthly flow expense for Stellar Lumens, it's pretty ironic the actual dollars it would take to continue running Stellar in the early stages. It was comparable to what was being released in the monthly escrow dumps. Think about, or the monthly dumps by Jed McCaleb when he got bought out. Think about it. Not trying to be a conspiracist, but When you think about how tied together they actually are, it'll make a lot more sense why you need to own the three, XRP, XLM, and XDC. Especially XRP and XLM for the two. But all three X's should be owned, no doubt about it. And you can even add a fourth X. You should have XRP Healthcare. And it's not even related to Ripple. But as some have suggested, just by ticker symbol, could have something happen. If somebody's going to see XRP at a couple bucks, they're definitely going to buy the lower priced XRP. It happens even in commodities. But that's not why we're buying it. However, there would be some challenges for XRP that it would need to overcome before it can rally again. AMB Crypto's analysis of Sentiment's data revealed that the network growth for XRP had declined materially over the last few days. This indicated that new addresses were losing interest in XRP. If XRP fails to attract new addresses, even at these discounted prices, it would have a tough time seeing green in the future. This is where I was talking. Retail investors are selling XRP on every drop, but the institutional investors that own between 10 million and 100 million are increasing their holdings. That's from Sentiment. So that's reliable information, and that continues to happen today. However, the velocity around XRP has grown significantly in the last few days, implying that the frequency which XRP was trading at had grown. Another positive for XRP would be its declining MVRV ratio. A falling MVRV ratio suggests that most addresses holding XRP were not profitable. So that's what I wanted to read in that. We can go down the timeline later on another live, but right now we're already at 56 minutes, and there's a couple things I still wanted to talk about. We're still watching to see if Bitcoin can come down near 69,800 so we can put in a long leg doji here, which would be fantastic. Instead of what looked like a gravestone, the more it comes down, the more optimistic we can get. Ooh. Oh, it did it. Ha! Look at that. Who was here in the beginning of this live when Bitcoin was at 70,200 and I said we need to come down to 69,800 and some change to put in the long leg doji? Did we not just do that? That's what I was talking about. All right, Bitcoin. That's actually a good thing. That's actually a good thing. Wow, Peter Pan, holy sh. Thank you so much for the $50 donation. I haven't seen a donation like that in a while. Wow. I don't know what I deserve to get that today, but I really appreciate that, Peter Pan. Wow. Seriously, thank you so much. It always humbles me so much to see somebody spend their hard-earned money. And we've had a few people today send donations, and it's been pretty spectacular. Does everybody see what we were talking about, though? How this morphed from a looked like a gravestone doji, and now you can see why I wanted it to pull down like that, because now you can clearly see a reversal long leg doji. You see how they do this? And now if it wants to pull up here, see what it did? I hope everybody sees what this did now. And now if it works its way back up to 70,200 before the close, now you're looking at a nice squeeze. If we somehow get above 70,400 or push that direction, now you could have an engulfing to the top side. What we just did just now was very important to put in a reversal candle here. So we've talked all I can talk about XRP and Bitcoin. Well, actually not yet, but XRP has a reversal candle as well. This looks very nice right now. As long as XRP doesn't give this back, we have a golden cross in the 4-hourly. We even have a golden cross from the 50 cross in the 200 and the 2-hourly. We haven't quite done that in the 3 and 4-hourly, but we have the 20 cross in the 200, which is still a golden cross. More confirmation has already happened in the 2-hourly. And if this is a reversal candle and we can close, and right now the problem is, yes, it's a reversal candle, but if we close right here, it's going to be engulfing to the downside. So what we're looking for here in the last about half hour, and we're starting to see it right as we're on the fly, we would like to see in the last half hour here, XRP try to push up past 6120 is what we're trying to see here. So pay attention to this at the end of the candle, because this is going to tell us everything we need to know. And then I know somebody asked me to look at something, but I can't remember what it was earlier in the show. Oh yeah, Gala. Gala's down 2.88%, giving back 6 cents, which I really like seeing. It's at 5.8 cents. We need to remember this for GameCon. I've got this pattern beautifully identifiable. And right now, the biggest part we need to want to buy here would be, as long as we hold this uptrend, the closer to 566 we get, the better. Jan, I appreciate you being here and being in Tom's Army for over 2 years with the XRP 589 Moon Badge on break. What a commitment. What a commitment. I'm so glad you're in here, love, and you're continuing to be in here. What a beautiful community we really have here. It's unbelievable. So the 200-day right now we're holding on to. We really want to bounce off of this uptrend. And if we can play this positively, we have first target up here at about 9.5 cents here for Gala. And if as long as this holds this uptrend here, even if we fell through, it's fine. Except you'd get a better buying opportunity at 4.2. With GameCon right around the corner, do I expect it to come down? I want it to, but probably not. But just because I don't expect it doesn't mean it can't happen, as I've said a billion times, and I'll say it a billion times more. Man, I really like the way that's set up, though, honestly. I do. I really like that. If this breaks up, it's looking pretty damn good. It would be looking pretty good here if we could break this bullishly. I'm really excited for GameCon, even though I could give a rat's ass about it. I am excited about I mean, I'm just being honest. I care more about it for the cryptos that are part of the gaming sphere. We don't talk a lot about Gala. I mean, I do talk about it more than a lot of things I talk about. I have a soft spot for Gala. A lot of people wanted me to buy this in yesteryear. But in yesteryear, I told them, I'm sorry, everybody, I can't do it. They wanted me to buy it in yesteryear, folks. And where they wanted me to buy it was back here when we had these crazy rallies in 21. Like, you're trying to get me in at 60, 70 cents, around $1. I told them I can't do that. I'll see you. Well, I told everybody I'd see you at 5 cents, and they all laughed at me. They said, exit stage left, sir. You're an idiot. It's just funny that it's just around that level. It even came all the way down to 1.5, which is where I could really punch myself in the face. But it's on a bull flag here, it looks like. And this would have been your first step of consolidation to pick it up. And then if it loses, it should come down to the uptrend at 4.6. But I'm definitely revving up here. My mind's going in overdrive here. So pay attention to that. AMP, unfortunately, if you're still in it, like I said when I sold it at 1.7 cents after buying it at, what, half a 0.0048 when I told everybody I felt a 200+% move coming imminently. Well, I sold it after making... Shit, I made a lot on that one. 30%. And I turned that into, I turned that $500, and I'm so proud of it. That turned into, it's a decent amount. It turned into about $2,000. I took that entire $2,000 off the exchanges when I sold, and I put it into a beautiful buy. I put $1,300 almost into it with First Majestic, and that's up 40% right now. And then the other part I put into Newmont Mining with some other money, and that's up like 13%. But the point is I would have lost from the top. And this is just from where I sold it at 1.7. I was not a genius. I went a little bit higher. It's down 49% in all respects. So I would have lost half of my, well, more than half. I'd be up 100% right now, roughly. That's a big drop. Wow. So anyhow, last thing I want to cover here, and I know we're getting a little long in the tooth. And Jan, thank you so much for being part of Tom's Army for 28 months. Wow. That's unbelievable. Yeah, Ghost keeps running in and outside the house, and it's raining outside. It's quite amusing. Right now, though, XRP Healthcare, ladies and gentlemen. XRP Healthcare, we have a nice reversal candle here, and this is why we had to talk about it. I actually have bought more on this candle. It was right around, not 5.3, it was 5.46 when I bought more. Just my daily purchase. So let's just say I'll be over 60,000 tokens now with this purchase. But it did come down a lot. So I said I'd buy it in this area. I bought some more. And the reason I bought it in this area on this candle is because it came down to this uptrend where I told everybody, if you were going to try to take another buy or you hadn't bought in yet, for me, the first area you could make a stab was this uptrend. And then if it lost that, we know we could get a much better deal at 2.7 if it made that drop. It's just there's no guarantee it will. And with this reversal candle, I figured I'm just continuing to buy and I'll continue to stake. And we'll see how it plays out. But right now, it's still, to me, it could be bearish. It could still be bearish. It's just right now in the daily, we do have a reversal candle. And we'll see if this plays out properly. But this could still break down. I would love it to break down, to be honest. I would love to buy it more at 2.8. I have to buy a lot smaller amounts up here. When it's down here, I can buy much bigger amounts. I had over 40,000 before it ever had the big breakout to where it's at now. Over almost right around 40,000 was under 2.8, 2.9. Right around 20,000 is anywhere between 3.2 and now what is it, about 5.5. I don't think there was much bought above that because I didn't buy out of the rotation here in the last couple days, unless it had the big drops, which every day you've seen big drops. So, but I think this is a sleeping giant, and years down the road we're going to say, oh my God, this is XRP led us to this. It's a miracle because this 100 million total circulating supply, it's in an emerging market with the digital healthcare, digital pharmacies. So it's a remarkable thing we've got going on here. This 6.7 needs to be deleted because that was old resistance. And then we've got to update this chart now. We've got much evidence in front of us where we can see this downtrending resistance. So I think this is I just like to evolve the pattern, but I don't like to evolve it until everybody's watching. So I'll wait to evolve patterns until I see the audience. And this is what it's doing right now. I think it's pretty cool when you do this. So if it can hold this, we've got a chance. If not, we know we're coming back down here. So just pay attention. Be optimistic, but at the same time, understand we're so far early right now that this big move up has been great. But we really want more opportunities here because over 18 million are staked and only 35 million or 36 million will ever reach the market. So over half of the total circulating supply that will reach the exchanges is being staked right now. That's a pretty crazy stat. And then you realize there's only 100 million total circulating supply. That's another even crazier statistic. So just pay attention to all that. And I know there was one donation that I still need to get to. It was of $19.99. Thank you so much, Taylor, for that. Thank you so much. He says, thanks for the dedication and hard work. Have a blessed day. You too, my friend. And thank you for sending your first YouTube super chat. That means an awfully lot to me. You can buy XRP Healthcare right on the XRPH wallet. You can, and that's downloadable on the app stores. You can buy it. I was buying it on MEXC. But you already have to be a member. In the USA, they don't allow new users, so that won't be an option. It's hard to find in the USA, I must acknowledge. But the XRP wallet is innovated now in the last about a week. They allow you now to buy it right on their exchange XRP for it as well. And I did a test and it let me do it now. There have been some people since the update that are having glitches or whatnot, and I'm waiting to see resolutions. Everybody else I've seen except the person who said today has had a resolution. So we'll see if this person indeed has a resolution as well. But I got to go, everybody. It's getting late. Thank you all so much. I really appreciate everybody being here. I had a lot of fun here tonight, but I want to get this information out for anybody who wasn't here. I bless each and every. Thank you for all blessing me, I should say. Make sure to hit that like button so YouTube recommends this live on the way out. And then if you're looking for the exchange of BITUNIX, now if you're on there and you were frustrated the fact you could only store stuff in Tether, now they have USDC for the USA users. Fear not. I've been bitching at them ever since I've been on there to put a USDC option. So now you can at least put your money when you're not in something. It doesn't have to sit in USDT. I was very uncomfortable having $3,000 in Tether as I built it up. Starting today, now that I figured it out that they actually upgraded it on the last update a couple days ago, I now can store it for the first time in USDC, and I feel a hell of a lot more secure. I'll be honest with you. That was my biggest complaint to the exchange, was how can you only have Tether? Now they don't. They have United States digital currency, so you can hold it as a stable coin there instead of Tether. At least the USDC is backed by U.S. government bonds, and U.S. dollars, as shitty as they are, it's still backed by them, and today it's at 105.25. So have a blessed evening, everybody. That's in the video description below and or pinned comments. And if you do appreciate what I do, hit that subscribe button, and make sure you hit hashtag BeBetterDoBetter in the comments if you made it till the end. Have a